What's going on, guys? My name is Tyler and welcome back to the channel for another very important AMC update video, and we are going to be refreshing your guys' memory about the FTDs and how hard we have been selling off and how this is statistically not possible if 80% or more of apes hold all of the shares of AMC and they are not selling, which I do think is the case. You see this reflected through the social sentiment of YouTube comments, Twitter, basically everywhere. People are still bullish on AMC, so we have to reflect back to that information, give you guys a scope of the kind of fraud and manipulation that we are still currently seeing in AMC stock, but also just go over a general update where we currently sit with the mother of all short squeezes. We're going to go over the Ortex data, a little bit of the charts, the stock O tracker data as well. We also have to talk about, in my theory, why AMC did sell off so much today. Nothing to be worried about, guys. We're just relaying the information. There's gonna be no price predictions, no squeeze predictions, none of that stuff. But keep in mind, I'm very bullish on AMC, and the sky is the limit when all apes do hold on to all of their shares. With that being said, before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button as well as comment down below. Let me know how many shares that you do currently own. I want to get an average estimation through the comments on all of these videos, so make sure you're honest down there. I do greatly appreciate it, as well as if you guys want to be notified every time a video is posted, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. So getting right into it, guys, first things first, let's talk about the technical analysis, the move that happened today and why we did sell off. Yes, I addressed this in a video earlier in the day, but I think it's good to go over yet again. And we are basically seeing an all-out short attack. You're seeing, obviously, as of yesterday, we had about 5 million shares that were available to borrow on the Stonko tracker data. Now we're currently looking at 200,000 shares that are currently available to be sold short. That is a difference of 4.8 million shares that are now borrowed. And the fact that the price of AMC has went down about 5% for the day, when there has been zero bad news, we ultimately should be seeing an earnings run up coming later throughout the rest of this week. I think you're just seeing a lot of overall legal short positions getting into the stock, synthetic short positions, as well as naked short positions. But ultimately, keep in mind, the more shorting that does go on, the better the short squeeze will be. So this should actually be a good thing for a lot of you guys if you can keep your emotions in check and continue to buy the dip. And ultimately, if we can create even more of the overall shares that we do own, then that will be a great thing when it does come down to the overall short squeeze. I don't know how long it's going to take. This could take a while to play out. So if you don't have diamond nuts, you aren't willing to see this go down a little bit, go up a little bit, go up a lot, go down a lot, then this is probably not the trade for you. But that is not a recommendation. I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner or your dad. So ultimately, do whatever you guys want to do. I'm just giving you guys my opinions and relaying the factual data to you guys. But the only thing you guys really need to be concerned about, and I shouldn't say concerned because it's not really concerning, is how far down we do go, because we're looking at our next support level, which we are probably going to hit if we continue to see this short attack at about $33, to see if we bounce from there like we did see last time. Ultimately, $30 is gonna be my worst case scenario as far as right now. I don't see us going under $30 just because the fundamental valuation is so high, but then obviously we have to break out past $40. And then, like I say all the time in these videos, the 200-day moving average would be our next level to break out of, and that is $47.55. But ultimately, you guys are gonna wanna watch the volume. Once that does pick up, you should see the price of AMC stock actually starting to go up at the same time. Now, let's move back to the Stonko tracker data. Let's take a look at the actual options that are in the money and out of the money, and we have a very low amount that are in the money. We have a decent amount that are out of the money, but with this short attack, they're really trying to keep these options from going into the money. They're trying to keep all of this free premium that everybody is continuously giving all of these hedge funds, market makers, to stay in these short positions. Because when you are buying a call, let's say $100 strike, you're paying that premium for acquiring that strike, for that $100 strike, and the market makers are not hedging any of those positions because they're so far out of the money, and they don't think obviously AMC will go up $60 by the next couple of weeks. So you're not seeing any buying power going into the stock by buying out of the money options. Ultimately, do whatever you guys want to do, but that is severely hurting the movement here when you are seeing over 100,000 options that are consistently out of the money, that are at the strike that is expiring closest, in the closest amount of time, I should say. But the next possible chance for a gamma squeeze would be August 20th, but that still looks highly unlikely if we do see a lot of people still continuing to purchase these super far out of the money calls. So if you want to help the overall movement, that's your choice. Then I would get closer to the money to actually make the market makers actually start to hedge some of these options positions. Now, Let's talk about the whole failure to deliver situation, guys. And I know we've covered this, but it has been a couple of weeks. And just to give you guys a clear example of the level of fraud and manipulation that is going on with AMC stock, this speaks for itself. The failure to delivers are something that needs to be bought back. They have to be bought back within a certain time frame. And considering the fact we had in between about 4 million and about 4.5 million FTDs for about 2 weeks straight, a little bit longer than 2 weeks, you can see this reflected right here, longer than we ever have. But during this whole time when these FTDs were being bought back, AMC share price was continuously going down. When we did hit this low, going from literally the day before of 2.2 million down to 41,000 FTDs on July 5th, you've seen the share price starting to crater. This is right here. Ever since then, we have been completely falling. So they're either doing two things. This is actually inaccurate data, or the SEC is covering up for the hedge funds and institutions. Because like I've said in other videos as well, is that the hedge funds and institutions, they're the ones that really call the shots here. The people with all of the money are the ones that are calling the shots. We don't have all of the money. So ultimately, when the fraud and manipulation is going on, they're going to push this off onto retail investors while letting the hedge funds, institutions, even market makers out free and clear. You have to know they understand what is going on. And on a mathematical basis, we could sit here and break it down for you guys, give you all the numbers you ever want to know, but that is very boring. It doesn't take a lot of common sense to understand failure to delivers have to be bought back around 4.5 million. Ever since we dropped from 4 million down to 42,000, the share price has been cratering ever since. And the whole time during this period, the only thing you ever seen in YouTube comments or on Twitter or anywhere else is apes are very bullish. They're buying the dip and buying as many shares as they possibly can, and we control over 80% of the flow. It is very obvious what is going on here. I do personally think the SEC is kind of covering up for hedge funds and institutions in a way. Don't quote me on that. Nobody's trying to get sued. Whatever the case, you guys already know what it is. This is my opinion and my opinion only. I think a lot of you guys resonate with that just because they have allowed so much fraudulent activity to continue to happen with the stock. So I think when you add everything together, especially this whole synthetic share situation that has come out today, that we could have possibly up to 7.2 billion shares that are actually circulating out with AMC stock. I think it's pretty obvious they're just flooding the market with open supply of AMC, and we cannot possibly continue to keep buying the dip as much as they are supplying the dip. That is not to say we won't see a short squeeze. Ultimately, this will come to an end. They can only do this for so long, and all the factors that we know, all the due diligence points me to believe and to ultimately be very bullish on the AMC mother of all short squeezes. I think this is a great opportunity. Nobody should get discouraged by the day-to-day moves that we see, like we already talked about, down about 5% for the day. I don't even care about this. If we start hitting down to about $30, I will plow money into this, guys. I am very convinced of this trade, and there's ultimately nothing to worry about in my opinion. I will say this yet again though, watch the volume, watch to see what people are doing. Are they buying the stock? Are they selling the stock? That's hard to tell on a day-to-day basis, but the volume will give you a good representation of what is actually going on, and that is the biggest indicator that I am actually looking at, as well as we will circle back to the Ortex data while we were talking about the biggest indicators is the share utilization, because you do have a possibility of forced recalls once the share utilization gets to be so high, just because there can be a lot of fraudulent activity that does go on with naked shorting, and that is obviously, as you guys do know, when a stock is very hard to borrow, as well as the cost to borrow will continue to go up. So eventually all of these things will play out. We will get all our ducks in a row. We will all get insanely rich. That is only my opinion. Like I said, and I will say this again, I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner or your dad, so ultimately do whatever you want and come to your own conclusions like people always have and always will do. But that is going to conclude this video, guys. I just want to refresh your guys' memory on what is going on. Forget the synthetic shares. Forget that whole argument. The FTDs and the price action we have seen correlated charts between the price of AMC and the FTDs going down, supposedly being bought back, is enough to show you the level of fraud and manipulation that is going on with AMC stock. So with all of that being said, guys, make sure to hit that like button as well as comment down below. Let me know how many shares of AMC that you do currently own. I want to average out how many shares that people do own to try to come to a more reasonable justification, because I think on average people probably own more than 120 shares, like Adam Aaron did say when the actual vote did happen. But also at the same time, while you're down there, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this, and if you want to be notified when these videos are posted, make sure to tap, tickle, touch, or smash that notification bell. And also, if you guys want to get totally free stock, check out the link down below for public. No deposit necessary, no need to link a bank account. You get your free stock in about 3 minutes time, and it's up to $70 worth. It is literally by definition free money. Also, if you guys want to join the private Discord where we send out alerts every time a trade is bought or sold, whether it's AMC or any other stock, we have been killing it over there. Check that out, link down below in the description. It literally pays for itself, and we are looking to make a huge trade on AMC earnings, depending on what confirmation we do get throughout the rest of the week. If we're going to see that earnings run up, if we're going to see a sell-off going into earnings coming on August 9th, that is Monday. So all of that being said, guys, I will see you later. You guys take care.